When does a new day start? It starts at midnight. Is it dark outside at midnight? Yes. So if a new day and a new beginning starts in the dark every day, that's when your new beginnings start. But so many people are afraid to go to that place. And I tell them, you have to visit that place, because if that place comes visit you, it will never leave. If you go visit the darkness that you've been running from, you'll have the opportunity to leave a better person. Winning never visits you in your daydreams. It sees you in your nightmares. The things that you come visit you in your nightmares, those things are real. Those are the things that you have to deal with. Those are the monsters underneath the bed. Those are the skeletons in the closet. You gotta bring the light, you gotta bring the dark. You gotta bring the good, you gotta bring the bad. You have to have conversations with those skeletons in your closets. They know you better than you know yourself. In order to stand out, in order to fight, many times you have to become that monster. But most individuals, when they become that monster, they don't know how to control it. And they let the monster control them. And then once you recognize that part of that monster, or all of that monster is you, that's when you can actually start fulfilling your dreams and living the life that you're meant to live. When you get out of bed, or you want to get out of bed, there's all these individuals that are lined up next to that bed. There's fear, there's doubt, there's compassion, there's hatred, there's excellence, there's excuses, and they all have their hands out. And then you get to choose every single day who gets a vote. It's your decision. And most times, many individuals make their decisions with their feelings. And when you have to make those decisions with your mind. Every single morning, if you can't get out of your beds and you choose not to win, you listen to your feelings. If you chose to get out of bed and you said, there's a win for me, that's your mind. And each one of those individuals, you decide who gets a vote. And some days, not all the popular things are going to get a vote. Success may not get a vote. Winning may not get a vote. You've made that decision that now this thing gets a vote. I must be ready to deal with it. Every single day, there also has to be something different about yourself. Different scares people. When you're different, it scares people. When the world is different, it scares people. Everything different scares people. But it attracts the right emotions, it attracts the right feelings, it attracts the right thoughts, and it attracts the right people. Because the people that are willing to not judge you and understand and know that these things are real. They are real. And anytime anybody's told me I'm crazy, I've always thanked them for that. Because it gave me the ability to see and do things that other people can't do, and acknowledge things that other people won't acknowledge. Nothing great is going to come without you having to deal with what I call adversity and pain tolerance. You must be able to deal with that. And the more understanding you have of what's causing you the pain and how you've dealt with it is going to determine how successful you will be in whatever you choose in life. You know, you'll have individuals who will become from a broken family. And you could have two children that come from a broken family. One individual will not live up to their potential. And they'll say, it's because I came from a broken family. And then you have the other individuals, same environment, same household, same everything, will do great things, not only for themselves, for humanity, for this world. And what's their answer? because I came from a broken family. They both understood how to use the pain. One used it to excel, the other used it to deny. My individuals come to me and say, listen, I have these dreams. I have these thoughts. And the first thing I tell them, your dreams and thoughts better be so big that they better scare you. It has to be something that nobody else has thought about before or done before. Very few people understand what winning and success does to an individual's mental health. Everybody thinks the more you win, the more successful you are. It just makes everything so much easier. And they don't understand the pressures that these individuals put on themselves to continue to perform at the highest level, to have their businesses win over and over again. That's where the separation is. The separation is in the details. It's in the details. The separation in the clothes you wear is in the details. The shoes, the car that you drive, the house, your education. It doesn't matter whether you go to the most expensive university or you drop out of the university. It's the details you pay attention to in your studies, in whatever your career choice is. Those are the things that matter. You pay attention to the details in your family. Pay attention to the details in your kids. You pay attention to the details of what makes your significant other happy, how they react to certain things. It's people get comfortable with not having to manage the details. And in order to be that obsessed with something over and over again, you can't be the best at something and try to balance everything else around your life. There is going to be times where things are going to be out of balance. You know, so many individuals talk about that you need more balance, you need more balance, you need more balance. You don't find balance, you create it. And it's different for every individual out there. The balance I've created may be completely different than the balance you've created. And there's certain times in your life that the scales are definitely going to be weighing towards one side more than the other. You have to surround yourself with people when your life is unbalanced, with individuals that will be selfish for you. They understand your obsession. They understand your drive. They understand your attention to detail. You want to get closer to balance? Don't continue to add stuff. Get closer to balance by deleting the unessentials. The most successful people, they've learned how to disconnect. They've learned how to delete the unessentials, because you spend so much time being obsessed and paying attention to the details that you don't have time, you don't have focus for the unessentials. The most successful people have the smallest circles. Winning does not always equate to happiness. It just doesn't. I've had a lot of individuals that have come to me and just said, this is too intense. I've seen mama mentality destroy more careers than I've seen it help. Too intense, too hot. People want the flame, but they don't want to touch the fire. Are you willing to put aside art as important to you at this particular moment? And I'm not telling you kids, listen, don't separate yourself from your family. But there's a lot of times that your family doesn't see the same things that you see and the same things that you believe in. They've had a certain way of doing things. My family, very supportive, but to them, success was working for an institution that you got a paycheck every single 2 weeks, you got health insurance, you got paid vacation, you got a 401k. That was their definition of success and happiness. To me, none of that would have made me happy. So when you talk about creating happiness, are you creating happiness that you've created or somebody else has created for you? Are you writing your story of happiness, or did somebody else write your story of happiness and hand it to you and say, here, this is how you become happy? The greatest success building their brand is they just outperform individuals. They put a better product out there. Do your job better than anybody else and your brand will build itself. So when people look for that happiness factor, is your foundation and your fundamental principles so strong that if this thing was to go away, could you still create happiness and success all over again? If your foundation and principles are extremely strong, no matter what endeavor it is. You look at the most successful people in business and everything else, they've gone to do multiple things that have allowed them to create different levels of happiness within that confined circle. Staying on the top is not the same thing as reaching the top. Many individuals can reach the top, but very few individuals stay at the top because the accountability among their team and among themselves starts to deteriorate once they've reached the top. If you think the price of winning is too high, wait till you get the bill from regret. And that bill from regret is generational. And there's a lot of people listening to this that bill has been passed on from generation to generation, and you are holding that bill right now. And somebody in one of your generations has to pay that bill off in order for the generation to move on. And the only way that bill gets paid off is you gotta be willing to make the hardest decisions.